Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 phases to building a more repeatable golf swing. What you need to do first, what you need to do after that, and then the last part that can really take your game to the next level. I want to talk to you today about live view golf. Now, you guys hear me say all the time that you need feedback when you're practicing. You need to know if you're actually doing what you're trying to do, and the best way to give yourself feedback ultimately is video. And not only is video the best way to give yourself feedback, but being able to see yourself simultaneously as you're doing a movement is the best form of video feedback. It's the best way I've seen to make changes in your swing and be able to correlate the differences between your feels and your reels. Live view is super easy to use and set up. Simply set it up behind or in front of you. You connect it with your iPad or phone, pop that on the ground. You can actually do your practice, see yourself as you're doing it, the best way to expedite your process. I encourage you guys to check out Live View Golf. We'll put a link in the description down below with a coupon code. All right guys, so let's talk about the 3 phases here to building a more repeatable golf swing. Now, really the design of this video came from the idea of if I could take a brand new golfer, right, or a golfer who was kind of in the beginning phase of playing and build them from where they are to as good as they could possibly be, how would that happen? And while there are some individual things, right, we don't all need to do or feel the same things, there really are 3 phases that most all good golfers I've ever met or worked with have gone to get to the level that they're playing their best. And I want to share those 3 with you here today. And what I would suggest for you is if you're anywhere in your golf process and you're a little bit lost or unsure what to focus on, or you kind of just want to start from square one and not swing your swing the way you're playing, I would go through these phases or at least check mark these boxes. Phase number 1 here is club face angle. Now, really what club face angle means to me, or what phase 1 is you need to learn as a right-handed golfer how to curve the ball to the left. That's it, period. You have to curve the ball to the left. Every good player that I've ever been around, right, has at one point in time been able to curve the ball to the left. Usually the phases go, you come in, you hit slices to the right. That's what I did in the beginning. And then you learn how to not slice it by learning how to hook the ball. That would be phase 1. Now, learning how to hook the ball is all about club face control. And I know some of you guys are saying, well, I know Jack Nicklaus hits a fade, or I know this good player hits a fade. Of course, higher level players can hit fades, but at some point in time, they had the ability to, or still do, hit a draw on command. If you can't curve the ball right to left, okay, to me, you're gonna be kind of stuck in that phase 1 margin. Doesn't mean you can't play pretty well, but really kind of building a pattern here. So how do we learn how to curve the ball to the left? What I would say that you're in phase 1 until you could pick a target straight out front. For me, is the 100-yard sign. And with a short iron, I've just got an 8-iron. You can use a pitching wedge to start. You need to be able to get the ball to curve left and finish left of that 100-yard sign. That's the way we're going to do this. And I would suggest doing it until you can do it about 10 times in a row. You're going to start with little short swings and build your way up. Now, if you can stand up there, take your little club and go, all right, Eric, I can do that. I'm going to start with a half swing and curve it left. And let's say you can do that on command. You stand up there, you go half swing, and you say, all right, no big deal. That ball curve left, finish left, and bang that out 10 times in a row. Then you don't have to think about anything. To me, you're already beyond level 1 or phase 1. You're going to move on to phase 2. Now, if we're being honest, I know some of you, all right, aren't going to just go right through that on 10 swings. You can't curve the ball left. And you have to look at why that is or what to fix. And the answer is the club face. Now, there's 3 key things here we're going to look at to make sure that your club face position is where it needs to be to get it curving to the left. Part 1 is not sexy, but it's a big one, which is the grip. If you can't curve a ball left, you have to make sure you have a neutral to strong grip, for my opinion, especially if you're in the beginning phase of playing better. If you're a tournament golfer, okay, that's a different ballgame. I'm talking about beginning phases of playing better. I would ensure the V's are at minimum to my right collarbone and maybe even more towards my shoulder. What does a strong grip do for us? It enhances, right, the odds or improves the odds of the club face being more closed. For the purpose of this, that's what we want. So I'd hit a couple balls, strengthen your grip, and say, all right, let me go ahead and hit that. And let's say that allows you to hook it left like I just did there. Excellent, but Eric, it hooked too far left. No, we're not there yet. You just need to get the ball to curve left if you haven't been able to. Now, let's say you do your grip. Okay, we've got grip videos. You can dive into the details. That's not what this is for. And you still couldn't curve it left. What else is going wrong? Well, the next part I would check would be the club face during the backswing. And the next part I'd check is say, make sure the club face is tilted down this way, tilted down during the initial phase of the takeaway. So you're feeling like the club face is looking at the ball longer and tilted down. Now I've got a strong grip and I'm gonna keep the club face tilted down. Let's try one like that. Okay, now maybe that produces a little bit of a hook for you. Good, then you're good there, do 10 in a row. Now, if you're doing that and you still haven't hooked, the next part is what do you do from there to the top? And the answer is still wrist conditions. If you've got a strong grip, the face is tilted down, and you get the face more at the camera, and then you're trying to hit a hook from there. So strong grip, face down, tilted down, face right palm back of the left hand at the camera. Let's go ahead and do one like that. Good, and that one's about a maybe 15-yard left shot for me. Now, if you have those three things in and you still can't hit a hook, okay, then you got to look at some downswing patterns and potentially adding in a little bit of lead arm supination. I don't mind in the beginning phases if you learn how to hit this kind of over face rotated kind of flip hook. I'm okay with that in the beginning. We need to make the ball curve left. Now, if you do those three things we just talked about, grip, face down, face towards the camera, you probably don't have to do as much of this sort of flip roll motion. But if you're doing those three and it's still not curving left, guess what? We're gonna add in a little bit of this. So I'm aiming at the 100 and I'm gonna feel my grip a little strong, tilted down going back, and then I'm gonna make sure it's tilted down on the way through as well. So my club face angle there is tilted down towards the ground. I'm adding a little bit of more of arm rotation, palm up towards the sky to help hook it left. I'm trying to hook it left on purpose. I can feel that as well. Good, and that one for me hooked a nice probably 20 yards left. So those are the four areas to look. Grip, tilted down, face at the camera, tilted down, palm up towards the sky. Those are the pieces you're looking at to curve the ball left. Now, if you can't do that 10 times in a row on command, you don't go to phase 2. You stay here until you can do 10, right? So grip, face down, left palm up towards the sky is gonna get the ball to curve to the left. Don't be worried about the face rotation, that's okay. Now that's all about phase number 1 to building a repeatable golf swing. If I had a brand new golfer step in today and I had to teach them to get as good as they could, that'd be the first thing I could do, and we would stay there until they were able to do it. Because when your club face is too open and you can't do that, there are so many swing flaws that come up later on that you could avoid by simply getting the face more closed. So that's phase 1. Stay here until you get that. Okay, maybe pause this video and come back later. But now let's talk about phase 2 once you get beyond that first part. Okay, phase number 2 here to building our repeatable pattern is all about club path or swing direction. Part 1, learn how to hit the draw, learn how to curve it left. Part 2 then is how to make that draw more playable. How do we keep that curve to the left? But now instead of aiming at a target and missing left on purpose, I want to still keep that draw, but now I want to get the ball finishing at my target. How do I do that? Well, if the ball curves to the left, that means I've got to start it where? To the right some amount. How do I get the ball started to the right if I'm trying to really close my club face? The answer is what pairs with that is a club path or a swing direction more to the right. So if I take my normal setup and I've got these sticks on the ground for swing direction, I put a little practice station in that we've done in videos, the best drill I've ever seen and the only 3 drills you ever need, and all the shallow videos. This is the station we use with all of our members. Is if I put my club down my toe line, the stick's just about 2 to 3 inches above it. So club parallel to the ground, down my toe line, the end of the stick is 2 to 3 inches above it. That's where we set it up. Now when I'm doing this, I'm really trying to get my swing direction more on about this line. So when I come into impact, I've hit hooks left, hit hooks left, hit hooks left. Now I got to get it back to the target. Well, during my downswing now, I'm trying to feel like the club gets more on this line. This would be more like, if this is 12 o'clock, more like a 4 o'clock number. So as I start to work back down, it's going to feel like the club works way more inside, underneath the stick, and more to the right. Now, if I need to feel the feels for my club face getting closed to get the ball to curve, I still need to feel those feels right now. So as I'm working through and doing my swing direction here, I'm still feeling those face pieces. Whatever you need to feel there, you're still doing. So what am I doing? I'm still doing that, whatever I was feeling, maybe the grip, maybe the left palm towards the sky. And I'm feeling the club a little more working from inside. I'm trying to get the ball started to the right of my 100-yard sign and still have it curve left. I don't mind if some of them still curve left of the target. The key here is getting it started to the right. So if you've been someone who hasn't swung from the inside, this is gonna feel pretty dramatically inside. Let's go ahead and do a couple and talk through some feels. So still feeling my face closed. Now I'm feeling the club more from inside. And now I'm trying to create the draw, but get it started to the right. Now what I would do for this in phase 2 is similar to phase 1. Do X in a row, right? And I say 10 in a row, maybe you do 5 in a row. You need to stay here until you can do that 5 to 10 in a row on command. Now, as you're working through here, you might feel the club, right, in the shaft working more from inside. You might feel your lead arm being a little bit more in. You might feel your body line's not quite as open compared to normal. You know, your right hip and your right shoulder might feel like they stay back a little bit in that early transition phase to help create this. Let's do one more. So still feeling like I'm closing the face. Now my pass more from inside. And that helps me create a draw that starts right and curves to the left. Now again, as we go on here, we're going to talk more about how the body works, but for now, I'm not worried if you don't have enough rotation yet. You can feel your right hip staying back behind you. You can feel your right shoulder staying behind you to help you get underneath this stick. Now this would be the first station I would set up. I'm going to show you another way to do the same thing here in phase 2. Okay, so station number 2 here for phase 2 of building swing direction is really the same goal. We're trying to keep our club face closing and get our club path more from in to out. Now, while probably, I'll say 80+% of our players like the stick behind as a reference, you may like the stick in front. It's designed to do the same thing. It's encouraging you to swing on a swing direction more at this 4 o'clock, but this one now wants to ensure that your club is exiting a little bit to the right. Again, in phase 2 here, building a pattern. I don't mind if you've got a little bit of this sort of flip hook to the right motion. A lot of great ball strikers did that first until they learned phase 3. So here, you're feeling like your club's exiting more on this line. So if this is a 4 o'clock, this might be, 10 o'clock, okay? If this is 12, 10 o'clock. So I'm really feeling the club here. I'm closing the club face. I'm feeling it kicking out in this direction past impact, sort of flip hook on purpose. Now the stick's set up the same way, and we've done this in previous videos. Club down the toe line parallel to the ground, about an inch above the stick. That's about where I have that set up. Something in your way so you don't come over the top. So I'm feeling my club face closing still, feeling it to the right and high past impact. My goals here, again, are going to be the same thing. Get the ball started to the right, but keep the curve to the left. We're building in a predictable pattern here. All the balls are drawing, right? That's the point of this video, predictability. I don't know how much they're going to curve, but they're all curving left the same way. Start on the same side, curve the same way. Closing my club face, swing out to the right. So this little flip hook pattern, we'll do one more. Good, now all my golf balls are starting to the right and curving to the left. And stay here, stay at this spot until you can do 10 in a row. If you lose the curve, go back to phase 1, get them curving left, and then come back to this part. And stay here until you get it. Now, once you get beyond this phase, which quite honestly, if you're at this point, you should be like probably breaking 80, you might be shooting around par. You should be hitting the ball well at this point, okay? So if you, hey, maybe am I at this phase or not? You should be shooting good scores. If you're not, you gotta focus on other areas. But once you get past that, let's talk about phase 3 here. Okay, so phase 3, you've got the club face closed, the ball's drawing to the left. You got your path to the right now to ensure the balls are starting right and curving left. Again, you could be, a lot of really good players I work with ride that all the way to shooting well under par a lot. So don't be too quick to get past that. But really phase 3 and the last phase I'd take someone through would be the body rotations and pivot. And really that would be body rotations and pivot during the downswing. Now, of course, if there were some other things we needed to clean up, grip, backswing stuff, etc., then I would clean those up as we go, but just kind of stock model here. The last piece to the puzzle is the body rotation, and it's the body rotation during the downswing. And as you start this, okay, you can still feel those same exact pieces. Club face closing, path to the right, and just add the body rotation in. The reality is what should happen is after you do a phase where you're getting the club face closed and to the left, gradually over time, you have to do less to make that happen. It's not gonna feel as exaggerated in month 4 as it did in month 1. Same thing with the swing direction. Gradually over time, you're not gonna have to feel like you're doing that as much. It's gonna start to naturally happen. In fact, it's quite common that you overdo those. You start getting hooks. That'd be a good problem, good player problem. How you start to rein those in is starting to add rotation. So you may still need to feel the club face stuff, you may not. You may still need to feel the path stuff, you may not. Got to judge that a little bit on ball pattern, work with a coach. But eventually we have to add rotation. Now, okay, as the phase 3 of this long video, I'm not gonna go through every single rotation feel under the sun. We have a rotation master class. We've done a ton of rotation videos. You can go back and search my name and go through those. Really what I'm gonna show you is kind of my current favorite rotation drill, which changed over time, which is, and we have a video on this, or we'll have a video on this, the seam line of my left pants here, getting to an object about a hand width behind me. Now that's my current favorite drill you can do with this. You can do any feel from there. From the top of your swing, you can feel like you get your leg around, your left hip around, your shoulder out of the way. There's a million different rotation feels, so go watch those, watch our master class. But this is just one I'm gonna use for today. This would be the last phase. The point of the rotation is to tighten your dispersion pattern and improve the contact and sort of the consistency day to day. What I find with the players who close the face and do the flip hook is they learn how to play really well, they get good, they get hot, but their misses can be too wide. How you bring that in is through this. As you improve your body rotation, that club face isn't gonna be close to the path as much. As you improve your body rotation, that path that went out to the right is now gonna be much more neutral. It's a neutralizer. So as you're hitting shots, you work whatever drill you want. For me, I've got this behind me. I'm trying to get my left seam line back to the bag, and I'm improving my rotation as phase 3. I'll go ahead and hit one here. So for me, I'm feeling this currently. Let's go ahead and do a little half one. Now again, whether or not I need to feel those other pieces depends on the ball pattern. So you're gonna work rotation and the expectation is the ball will curve less. So you're working towards a straighter shot. So these are the 3 phases. We're spending the least amount of time on phase 3 because a lot of you need to live in 1 and 2 for months and months and months and months. I probably lived in 1 and 2 for like 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, until I got really good at that. So do not rush through. The solution to 80% plus of you guys watching is learn how to get the club face closed for the next 2 or 3 years, and then learn how to kick your path to the right. If you're not breaking 80 and 1-2, you could live there for a while and then do the rotation piece. So hopefully this makes sense. This is what, to me, every golfer should learn how to do. Our handicap levels will come way down. If you want help, as always, would love to help guide you at cogornogolf.com. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, do us a favor, click the like button down below. Click the notification bell. Also, please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.